It's no secret that besides being a great player, Steph Curry's also a great dad. According to Steph, playing the role of a parent for the past 10 years has actually helped him become a better leader for the Warriors as well. So in this video, we're taking a look at how his parenting techniques have helped him captain his team, along with the qualities that make him such a great leader to begin with. First up, let's talk about Curry's parenting techniques. In a recent interview with Fatherly, Steph spoke about how much effort he puts into making sure that his children are brought up well. Curry told Fatherly that he achieves this by telling them to control their WABA. Now we're sure that sounds hilarious and makes no sense without any context, so allow us to explain. WABA stands for words, actions, behavior, and attitude. So when Curry tells his children to control their WABA, he's asking them to stay composed no matter what's going on in their life. According to Curry, those are 4 things that his children can always keep a check on, and if they're successful in doing that, he thinks it'll keep them centered throughout the good and bad times. This is a great technique because it allows his children to stay calm even if they're upset, while also ensuring that they don't get cocky when things are working out well for them. Steph does understand that the force of WABA's wearing off, since his children are getting older, but they still respond positively to the adorable phrase whenever Curry uses it. Steph's always been known for handling criticism really well, by tackling it with positivity and aiming for self-improvement. He wants his children to be the same, so he's clearly working hard to achieve that. If you're a parent watching this, we definitely encourage you to make use of this parenting hack because it's clearly worked out well for Curry. Next up, how does his parenting techniques relate to the locker room? During the interview, Steph was also asked if he uses the WABA technique with his Warrior teammates. Curry said he realizes that he can't just go up to a bunch of rough and tough grown men telling them to control their WABA, but he definitely thinks the message behind the word can be useful for them. The Warriors had their fair share of doubters and haters who strongly believed that the team wouldn't be able to make it past the finish line ever again, but Curry made sure to lead from the front and gave valuable advice to the young guys on his team. Steph told the younger players like Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody that they're valuable to the team and that they play just as much a part as Steph when it comes to winning it all. That's the attitude that helped Golden State win another ring. While Curry may be packaging WABA differently when talking to his teammates, he's promoting the same concept of work ethic, belief, and self-confidence. Moving on, let's take a look at Curry's unconventional leadership style. When people hear the word leader, they think of a loud, fierce, and vocal person who never backs down. Curry, on the other hand, never had such a personality, yet he's still one of the best leaders in NBA history. In the past, Steph spoke about how once he became the star of his team, there was a certain expectation that he had to be more vocal and expressive, just like MJ was. Despite the pressure placed on him, Curry didn't feel any need to change his personality to fulfill his leadership role. Instead, he stayed true to himself and has been leading his team according to what suits him. Curry is a rare breed within the NBA who can display terrific leadership without being intense and expressive like Kobe, Jordan, and others. For him, leadership is about leading by example and showing the rest of your squad how important discipline and good work ethics are. Steph also said that since he speaks rarely, when he does say something, it has a presence and commands attention. So if you ever wanted a pro tip from Curry on how to be a great leader, just remember to be yourself and not force things. Up next, let's talk about moments showcasing Steph's amazing leadership. While there are a lot of instances of this, there are 2 that have always stood out amongst fans and teammates of the star point guard. The first is from February 2017, when Kevin Durant, the second best player on the Warriors at the time, was out with a knee injury. The organization and its fans were worried about whether KD would be back to his all-star form in time for the playoffs. According to Steph's teammates, this is when they noticed a shift in Curry's leadership approach. For example, David West said he'd arrive at practices just to see Curry covered in sweat, and he was slowly becoming more aggressive in terms of how he played as well. According to West, Curry got everyone going due to his fighting spirit. This was one of those times when he decided to be a little more vocal, so that the rest of the team knew the urgency of the situation they were faced with. Though of course, as we told you earlier, Curry's laid back, so he didn't try to be unnecessarily expressive. Instead, he focused mainly on sending a message through his actions. Lastly, we can't forget forget about his role in the KD-Draymond fight. Steph's role, following the heated argument between his teammates, easily cemented him as one of the best leaders of all time. When KD and Draymond decided to fight it out nearing the end of a close game, many fans were worried that chemistry issues would come in the way of another successful season. Since Curry wasn't at the game due to a groin injury, he had no idea what had happened until later. But according to many members of the Warriors, such as Draymond, it was actually Steph who played a huge role in ensuring that things settled down following the incident. Warriors coach Steve Kerr also said that Curry was integral in repairing the team's spiritual injury. He went on to talk about how every team needs someone who can build bridges and bring the whole team together. For the Warriors, Steph is that guy. Mark Medina of the Mercury News even reported that when the team got back to Oakland after the ugly spat, Curry met with Green and Durant privately to have a chat and pacify the situation. What's more, after all this happened, he made sure to sit between the two on the bench during games and share laughs with the both of them to revive the positive spirits of the team. That right there is a true leader. Now let's talk about what makes Steph such a great leader. First off, he plays with joy. Curry's always having fun on the court, and you can tell. Whether it's him shooting no-look threes or making acrobatic layups, he's always having the time of his life out there. This attitude's been a huge reason why the Warriors have been met with so much success and are always one of the most entertaining teams to watch. The joy Curry plays with rapidly spreads to his teammates, which makes them feel happier to play for the team and ultimately helps them play better as well. What's more, he's selfless. Not only does he celebrate himself, but he celebrates when his teammates flourish as well, even if this means he'll get less attention. Just look at how happy he was when his fellow Splash brother, Klay Thompson, broke his record for the most threes in a single regular season game. He seemed happier than Klay himself. When people see their leaders act like this, it makes them feel far more special because it shows that their victories are just as important as those of the star player. Plus, he leads by example. Since Curry's leadership style depends on actions rather than words, for the most part, he makes sure to show the rest of the squad what it takes to be the best. He sets high standards for himself and always meets them because of his outstanding work ethic. He keeps challenging himself to get better while also polishing his craft of shooting threes, which many would argue he's already perfect at. Since he's the team captain, this serves to set the tone for the rest of the team. Lastly, he's humble. Despite some haters who think he's cocky because of a few celebrations here and there, Curry's a very humble person at heart. Once many athletes reach the top spot, they let fame and success get to their heads. But Curry didn't let that happen. Instead, he stayed his humble self and tells Steve Kerr that he never wants special treatment. Marquise Chris found this really surprising when he played with Steph and highlighted how much he appreciated the fact that Steph talks to everybody like they're just as good as him. There's no discrimination based on how good or experienced you are. That's the perfect environment to be in, especially when you're a rookie. That's a wrap for this video. What do you guys think of Curry's parenting and leadership techniques? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.